Hey guys, welcome to Bootorials. I'm your host Craig, and today we're going to talk about... So in this video, I'm going to give you a complete rundown on how to do a full custom shell heat mold to your ski boots. You know, what's great about this is it really allows us to get a very personalized and custom fit. We're able to expand the width of the boot up to about 6 millimeters, or we can just specifically reshape and target pressure points. Now, before I get into it, what I will say is that if you live anywhere near a ski shop, you're likely much better off going in store to do this there. They're going to have all the equipment you need, it will be faster, and their expert guidance will help you get a great result. So this is really for people who don't have access to that type of service. Now, overall, this procedure is pretty similar to what you saw in my heat molding liners video. But what's going to be the main difference is it will be dependent on which boot you have as to the optimum times and temperatures you'll need to get a good molding result. So the first thing you do need to ensure is that you have a ski boot with heat molding capability. Now, each brand calls their version something different. So what you want to look out for is with Salomon, you're looking for Custom Shell or Custom Shell HD. With Atomic, it is known as Memory Fit. Head has theirs known as Form Fit. Dalbello's is called My Fit. K2 has their Fitlogix system, and Fischer has their Vacuum FIt. So if you are going to do this heat molding at home, we will have to channel our inner MacGyver. So the first thing you're going to have to get is a tape measure, a pair of scissors, and a mirror, and we can get started. And now that you have a sweet mullet, let's go up to the Patriot kitchen and really see what you're going to need to do this molding process. So the first thing that you're going to need is a pair of gloves. Now, the buckles are going to get very hot inside of the oven, so to avoid burning yourself, these are a necessity. The next thing you're going to need is 2 pairs of socks. Now, the first pair of socks we're going to fill up with rice, and we're going to use that to heat mold your liners. And the second pair, obviously, you're going to wear on your feet. Now, if you're looking for a very close and precise fit, that's all you're going to need. But if you do have some pressure points and you want to create some extra space for them, pick up a pair of tongue shims. Now, what you can do with these is cut out some specific shapes for different parts of your foot. They're adhesive backed, we can stick them on your foot, get your sock over the top, and this will help push out some extra space to give you some relief. Now, I have put this together as a kit. If you go to patriotfootbeds.com, you can get the heat molding kit. It will have 2 pairs of socks and some tongue shims just to make this easy for you. Now, to create a good piece for along the outside of your foot or the 5th metatarsal, just cut along the Patriot logo. To get a piece to go on top of your foot, we want to create a large oval. So work that off the top corner. And then you just really need some smaller circles, say for a bunion, or if you want to go navicular bone, same size, and then a larger circle for your ankles. Cut those out, that's all you should ever need for creating some extra space. And the next thing you want to do is set up your oven. Now, the first thing you should do is remove all of the shelves out of your oven except for the bottom one. Now, I also highly recommend not having plastic touching metal. So if you just cover that bottom shelf with either some foil or baking paper to give it some protection. Then we want to preheat the oven, make sure it gets up to temperature, and it's different for each brand. First, let's look at Salomon. And Salomon, with their custom shell, wants 100 degrees Celsius. Regular custom shell is going to be for 10 minutes. And then new custom shell HD is going to be for 2 minutes. Then we have Atomic, and with the Memory Fit, we want to go a higher temperature. We're going to 117 degrees, and that needs to go in for 5 minutes. And then we have Form Fit from Head. Now, there is a couple of different options with Form Fit. You actually have the ability to leave your liners in when heating up these boots. So if you're going to do that method, you can go 100 degrees Celsius again for 10 minutes. Or if you just want to do the shells only, go to 120 degrees Celsius and just heat them for 5 minutes. And Dalbello's My Fit system is 110 degrees for 8 minutes. K2 Fitlogix is 117 degrees for 10 minutes. And then Fischer Vacuum FIt is going to be 80 degrees for 10 minutes. Now keep in mind with Fischer Vacuum FIt, obviously you're not going to be adding any vacuum to this, so the only thing you're going to be able to do is actually get some expansion through this boot. So while your oven is heating up and getting the temperature, let's turn our attention back to the liners and also getting your feet prepared. Okay, let's get your boots out. What we want to do is remove the liners. Before your boot shells go into the oven, do up all the buckles just on their first setting. Alright, we have the socks, let's fill them up with rice and then tie a knot on the top. Alright, 2 socks now full of rice. Let's get them in the microwave for 5 minutes. Rice will be nice and hot now, and we just want to get it down into your liner. Make sure it goes all the way into the front of the toe box, and that will just radiate heat over the next 5-10 minutes as your shells are in the oven baking. And now that you have your liners warming up off to one side, we can now get our boot shells in the oven. Now if you have an oven like mine, it does not have enough space for both boots at the same time. So you're just going to have to do this process one boot at a time. So while the boot is heating up, let's turn our attention back to preparing our feet. Now these are the pieces of foam that I cut out before. You can see the large round circle will go on the ankle. You can just peel the paper off and then it will stick in place. This long one works great on the outside of the foot, oval on top, and then you can use that as a bunion or even navicular circle there. I'm personally not going to use any of these as I want it to be a nice and close mold, but that will just help push that little bit extra space where you need it. Now, what we're actually trying to achieve here is actually get these specific plastics up to where they're a malleable temperature. Now, the great thing about the plastics that they've developed for this purpose is once they have expanded, they hold this shape. If you were to do this process to a boot that isn't built specifically for molding, they won't get as much expansion, and they'll generally, with its memory, retract back to its original shape. That is why you have to have one of these specifically purpose-built ski boots for this reason. Now, generally we're getting them up to a certain temperature. On average, it's going to be at about 80 or 90 degrees Celsius for this plastic. Now, if you are pedantic, you can pick up a laser thermometer if you want to do some tests on how hot you actually have the boot. So, with its laser, we can see different parts of the boot, what temperature it's getting to. Now for Salomon in particular, that's 80 degrees, and I'm seeing that pretty uniform with a little bit extra in the front of the boot. So I'm going to actually get them out now. It's been 10 minutes, so that's basically spot on. Now, if you're not getting them up to temperature, obviously you can just keep them in the oven a little bit longer. So this boot is hot enough now, and it's nice and soft, but buckles are hot, so make sure you're wearing your gloves. get your liners back in pretty quick and then stand into the boot. Just do the buckles up on sort of a light to medium tension. Make sure it has a good wrap at the cuff and tongue sitting in the middle. And then just stand them in a pretty neutral stance for the next 5 minutes. Now after this 5 minutes is up, we can actually start cooling the boot down to help it set into place. So grab all your frozen veggies. You can get ice packs, get your chips, everything out of the freezer, and just surround the whole boot for the next 5 minutes to get this plastic to cool right down. Alright, and after about 10-15 minutes of total time of standing in the boots and also cooling them down, they should now be set into place. So now a fully customized shape, it should feel a whole lot better. Your feet might need a rest, but by the time you go skiing in these boots, it will be vastly different. Alright, so if you are molding that other boot separately, go ahead and do that process now and you'll be all done. Now I know this is going to be such a game changer for a lot of you guys. This really is the most easy and efficient way to change the shape of a ski boot without relying on the traditional manual methods. So it is something, I know this has been a little bit more of a crude tutorial compared to what you'd get in the ski shop, but as long as you're really paying attention, if you're careful with the times and the temperatures that you're using, and as long as you don't go over, you really can't fuck this up. And you can get amazing results. I've really seen some great things over the years with this molding process, from super wide feet to even really mangled feet, getting amazing results on this molding. Now, it doesn't fix every ski boot problem in the world, but it really does go a long way to getting the vast majority of people instantly comfy in a ski boot. So I really wish you luck with it. If you have any questions, get in touch. Pick up a set of footbeds at patriotfootbeds.com and stay rad, be a patriot. Signing out.